Would you believe like the Super Bowl loss, Super Bowl 32 to Denver doesn't even make my list?
Yeah, it didn't make mine either as I was thinking about this, to be honest. We had just won one. Maybe that was just hanging on with us.
This will not be on your list, but it's on my 1992 National Hockey Championships. UW should have won, got pounded 5-3 by Lake Superior State. You probably don't remember that, even though it's in your lifetime and you should.
CHA, right? WCHA.
This was for the national championship. Lake Superior State, not a WCHA school, but yes.
I tried.
The Badgers were. Good try there. There were a couple of years. Well, the 1 year Russell Wilson was there. They lost 2 horrible games. The Badgers did. Kirk Cousins, that SOB. By the way, see, if I had all the product we just discovered on that show, it would be a different name than the SOB.
Not so rated. Got it.
Right at the buzzer. Nothing but triple zeros on the clock. He beat them at Michigan State. The next week, they lost on a Hail Mary or whatever it was, a long pass with about 20 seconds left to Ohio State. So all these things are horrible in my life.
Okay.
Now here are the worst ones. 1981, Wisconsin, Iowa. The Hawks win 17-7. They end up in the Rose Bowl. Badgers had a chance to go to the Rose Bowl. 81. Wouldn't have had to wait till Barry Alvarez, the whole thing. Interesting. So that was horrible.
Okay.
Doesn't affect you at all. Good to see.
Not a lot.
Do you remember 20 years ago when they played the Eagles, Packers-Eagles?
Is this 4th and 26?
4th and 26, Freddie Mitchell, I'd like to thank my hands. Hey, Darren Sharper, why don't you take a little deep drop? You know? Bao Ju, he made the tackle and he wasn't his guy. That was terrible. 4th and 26. You gave up 4th. They were the number
Donovan
one.
McNabb?
Donovan McNabb, 4th and 26 to Freddie Mitchell. Years later at a Walter Camp Award dinner, I was there. Freddie was there because he'd been an All-American at UCLA, and he and I chat and commiserate. I think I still have Freddie's name and my phone number in my phone here. If perchance he's out of the Huskow.
Non-Wisconsin.
Did a little time. Number 3, if this isn't on your list, then we're just going to cancel the show. In the 2015 Final Four National Championship game, Duke beating us 68-63, right?
I want it happened. The clock
That's number 3 on my list. That's on your list?
Yeah, it's on my list.
Yeah, got to be on your list.
Has to be.
Terrible. This one is fresh to me, but obviously it didn't happen. You never would know about it. So I'm at 1982. That was before you were born. 1982 World Series Game 7 when they lose to the Cardinals.
I'm aware it's the only time.
1982. It was terrible. And then the next year, so they lose in 82. And then the next year, that's my senior year, fall of 82, 83, graduate. And then where do I go? University of Missouri, and room with Royals and Cardinal guys the rest of my college career.
Did we get shellacked in that, or was it a good game?
Wasn't good. We don't want to talk about it.
Damn it.
We don't want to talk about it. And number 1, what do you got? You got to guess? We've talked about this before. 1978. UWGB, the Phoenix, losing the national title game to Cheney State. Down in Springfield.
We have talked about that.
Yep, lost 47-40, and they lost to Cheney State, and sort of in a John, Wisconsin. Years later, when I was working here, John Cheney, at that time, Hall of Fame coach, right? He'd been inducted. He's coaching at Temple and had all this great success, and he's coming through for a car wash. And I go find him, and I said, you're responsible for one of the most painful memories of my childhood. And I said, I grew up in Green Bay, and when you were at Cheney State and won that game. And first, he was unbelievably gracious. And I think it was because he's like, wow, somebody knew I coached somewhere before Temple, even though I was still in Philly, and remember that game. And I just said, that was a little town I'm from. You have the Packers, but this team was great. And he was like, then he told me, don't forget, you played us the next year and beat us. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, right. And then still lost in the final. But it was just remarkable to see him, because he was kind of old and cantankerous sometimes and see me. But when you chat about something like that, it was sort of, for lack of a better term, a little more intimate, a little more knowledgeable than just, hey, how'd you lose to UMass and yell at John Calipari? He was great and couldn't have been, he was kind of thrilled that somebody had remembered that, even as I was still anguished. And he could tell you most of the game and how they won. And he got mad at Dave Buss because sometimes he taught his guys in the free throw line to act like they were going in. So it was a marvelous thing. And he was unbelievably cool talking about it. But I'm still, 78, you're 13 years old. How great is that? I would have been 12 because I wouldn't have turned 13. But that was big. Would have loved that. Would have changed everything. Sonny Wicks' whole life would have been different if he'd have been that.
Pretty good.
Yeah, by the way, shout out to our guest, Sonny Wicks, man. He's got them rolling.
Absolutely killing it. Absolutely killing it.
People show up. Go to the games.
Yeah, get to the Rush Center. It's loud in there, man, and there's only probably 1,500, 1,800. Imagine if there was 3,000, 4,000.
Get them in. There, you guys.
We will.
There's not a lot to do in the winter. Go.
There's a couple 2-tree on my list here that you didn't mention.
2-tree? What do you got there?
Your game 7 of the World Series is my game 7 of the NLCS. I would have loved to see them get to the World Series.
Yep.
Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers can go to hell. 2008 NFC Championship. It was Favre's last game. I was there, cold as all get out. I had toe warmers attached to my cheeks. It was stupid, and I was.
And you had hair then, and you had hair probably.
Yeah, and no beard. That was the worst part. All right, so I was right in line, John, where Favre threw the interception. Like he threw it. We were going south. We were going south on the field. Favre threw it, and granted, he's 60 yards away, but the ball was coming right at me. And I saw, and I was like, no, because you saw it getting.
You were not the intended receiver.
No, I was not. Neither was the guy.
How the 4th and 26 game ended, right?
No.
So they make 4th and 26. They go down a couple plays later, kick a field goal, tie, go into overtime. Brett throws a pick, and then they go on to score. I think Brian Dawkins, Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer.
I got Badgers Duke.
By the way, I'm going to call Clayton Kershaw and tell him that you think he's a jerk.
Are you kidding me? And yeah, call him right now. I dare you.
Hey, I know you're trying to figure out this whole free agent thing, but my guy thinks you're a jerk.
Yeah, all the best. Listen, if he shows up in a M and a B, no, he can't. There's no way he's going to. Maybe 2 more here. The Packers Seattle NFC Championship game. I don't know what year it was, but it's the Boston Bumble.
That was hard.
Yeah. What year was that? 2014 ish.
Yeah, abouts. Has it been 10 years ago? Yeah, it probably, because they had a chance to go back. And that was another one. They had no business. They were going to get stomped. Remember that? They were going to the Seahawks, the mighty Seahawks, the Legion of Boom, they'll have no chance. And Brett played great. And then they didn't. And then the defense decided to let them score a touchdown, and then went to overtime and let them have another touchdown. It was
our boy Russell Wilson gave us a little payback.
And all you had to do is get out of the way. I think wasn't it Jordy that would have been right there?
Yeah. Yep. His job. Good. We're good. I won't go off. All right. Last one. Game 7 NBA East Finals. Big Dog, Ray Allen, Sam Cassell. They were playing the Sixers.
Yeah.
I don't know the year, but I was young. I remember that. Like, I went to a lot of Bucks games when I was a kid. My grandparents lived in Milwaukee. They dropped me off and picked me up, and that was a tough one, but not nearly as bad as some of these other ones that we've mentioned. And I know that you have a list of 50 more probably.
I could the Bucks lost a game 7 for the NBA championship to the Celtics when I was a kid, but I was only 5, 6. I can remember watching it at my aunt's house in Montezuma, Iowa. But I wasn't emotionally scarred enough then to know. You just, I wasn't one of those tearful kids right there at the moment. I just that's too bad. The Bucks could, didn't fully grasp what was happening there at the time. But you know what? I'll just go put that back on my list for the next time we come through and visit these painful things.
The John Wisconsin Bad Memories edition. See, not all memories are good. We have
my whole childhood was not all rainbows and unicorn.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. I got pain. I got scars. If you could, if I could see this heart got a lot of scar tissue.
A lot of scars.
All
right, we'll get over it.
But here's why it hurts us, Trev, because you and I and most everybody that's watching this, it's because we're invested.